Good afternoon and welcome to another episode of Help I Bought a Farm for Farming Simulator 22. I'm Farmer Tom and today we're going to have a look at the best ways to make money in Farming Simulator 22. So you've just started a new game, you don't have a lot of money and you need to make money quickly and you need to make a lot of money. So how do we do that? I've got a list of my top 10 favourite ways to make money here. Now this is not in any particular order, I'm just going to try and rattle them off as I go. So number one is sell what you don't need. Okay, let's have a look at our equipment. What don't we need? Car. Don't need a car. If I want to go anywhere, I can drive in a tractor. Weights for the front of your tractor. At the moment I don't intend in carrying a lot of weight on the back, so I don't need any weights. When you start the game with 3 tractors. I don't need 3. I do however need around about 200 horsepower or higher, which I don't have, so I'm going to hang on to the 2 highest and sell the lowest. I need the harvester, the trailer, the header for the harvester. We'll need a cultivator and we need the seeder for the time being. This header trailer I have very rarely used. This early in the game you don't really need it. It's used to carry the header for your harvester, but this is a relatively small header. You can actually just put that on the front of your harvester and travel with it. But later on in the game, when you get bigger headers, they really take up 3-4 lanes of the road, so you will need a header trailer later, but for now we can just sell it. We're looking to make some money as quickly as we can. If you then go into your construction, and there's a few buildings here we don't need. For the time being I don't need this grain silo. I'm going to be selling the grain to try and make some money, so I can get rid of this for the time being and then buy another one later. $58,000. This, I think this is some sort of hay shed. You can store things in it, but it really just takes up more space than it is of use. So I like to just sell it. It does leave a big space, however. We can fill it back in with the leveling tool. And then we just soften the edges, because that's kind of high, this section here. Creates a bit of a ramp. You get the idea. I don't need this water tank. I can get water from the lake, sell that. I've covered this before in a previous video, selling some items that you don't need. This here is purely cosmetic, however it's of no value. It's up to you whether you want to sell it to clear some space or not. There's a workshop here, which again takes up more space than it is of use, so I like to sell it. $25,000. And again, just fill in the gap, fill in the big hole. The swing set is of 0 value. I just get it out of the way. Now we do have a nice big fancy farmhouse here. It's up to you whether you want to keep it or not. However, I like to sell it. $75,000. And then I build for $20,000 this kind of caravan type, static caravan house here. So I've made $55,000 after the construction of my caravan. Coming in at number 2 would be contracts. So if you press escape and scroll down till you get to this icon here that looks like 2 pieces of paper, and here you'll find your contracts, and you'll see each contract pays different amounts. This contract here for baling is going to pay you $5,371. We quite clearly don't have all the equipment required, so we can, if we press, I think it's the backspace key, or you can just use a mouse to click to borrow the items. You can borrow all these items for $50, and that'll allow us to complete the mission. Nice and easy. The more equipment, the more land that you own, you will gain access to more contracts, but for the time being, nice and easy way to make some extra cash. Coming in at number 3 is field flipping. So we hang on to our harvester and our harvest header for a reason. If we drive down, actually let's check the map first of all. Right, so you can see at the minute I've got highlighted, or I've got selected all the crops that I can use this grain header for. The corn and sunflower need a different header. Potatoes, sugar beet, sugarcane, corn, grapes, olives, poplar, grass and the oilseed radish, they all need different equipment. So take the next page, go to the next page and click on ready to harvest. And this will highlight all the fields that are ready to harvest. You see this is our field here, number 45, which I have made some tyre tracks through. You can change that in the options if you want to switch off. Where is it? Crop destruction off, so you don't destroy your own crops when you drive over them. So you can see in the map here, all of these fields that I've highlighted orange, they are ready to be harvested. So let's go with field number 30. So it's valued at $226,000, $226,656,000. So we can buy that, space bar. And we get our harvester that we kept. We'll go and harvest the field. And once you've harvested the field, what we do then is we'll go back into the map and we'll sell it for the exact price we paid for it. That's because the value is in the field itself, the land, not the crop. And we still have a grain tank in our harvester, 59% full. We have a full trailer load of canola, and I've sold a trailer load of canola as well. Number 4 on the list is to sell your crops at the right time. So if we press escape, and we'll have a look at this kind of little graph here. And we've got some oats to sell at the minute. You click on oats and you can see who's buying it. Cereal Factory, Feed and Grain, Grain Mill, Goldcrest Valley. I wouldn't use Goldcrest Valley. You've got to use a train to get there, and you've got to pay fees to use the train. Grain Mill and Johnson's Farmer Market. So you can show the price fluctuations if you press spacebar. And we are currently in August. So if we look at August, the prices for August is pretty much, yeah, it's rock bottom. So what we want to do is try and hold on to those crops until January and then sell them. You get maximum profit. Number 5 on my list is grass, or things you can do with grass, more importantly the silage. You can make quite a bit of money selling silage. Now the thing I like about silage is that it's made from grass, and you need one of these balers. So silage is made by tightly compacting the grass, then wrapping it in plastic and allowing it to ferment for a couple of months. The grass is relatively cheap to maintain, so you would you would seed your grass one time, and then every 3 months you can cut your grass and bale it and sell it. There's no need to reseed the grass after you've seeded it the first time, but it does require some extra equipment to maintain. Like you would need a roller, so once you cut the grass you would roll it to help increase the yield. I done a video a few weeks ago on grass and things that can be done with grass. You'll need some additional equipment as well, like the mowers here, the baler, and what we've got here is a windrower. And the windrower is what allows me to put the grass into nice neat piles like this, ready to be collected by the baler. Let's take a look at the equipment. So if I look at the mowers, first of all, these ones are really cheap. And if you're going to be doing a lot of work with grass, it's probably best just to buy them rather than leasing them every 3 months. Be more cost effective to buy your grass care equipment. The windrower, again, I got this one here. It's only $19,000. I just feel these cheaper ones are a bit too small for what we need. And then again, you go up here and these ones are just too big. So this one here is reasonable size. And again, it is better just to buy it because it's only $19,000 and you're going to use it every 3 months. Your roller that you're going to need after you cut the grass is found in Grassland Care. There it is. And any of these two rollers work fine. This one here, $26,000, once it's unfolded, if you use the AI to mow, to roll the field for you, they'll miss like little sections at the edges. So it's better to do it yourself or get the smaller, cheaper roller. And then that brings us to the baler. Oh, they're all different shapes and sizes. But the one I got here was this class, the Roland 445 RC Unirap. And the reason I've got this one is it's a decent price compared to the other larger ones. It's only $78,000. But the reason I got this smaller one, this more expensive one as opposed to the cheaper one, you notice a slight difference. So this one here, it can do round bales 125 centimeters. This one can do round bales 125 to 180 centimeters. And this one here can do the round bales 125 centimeters, and it can also wrap them in plastic at 125 centimeters. And as I mentioned, the wrapping in plastic is what makes the silage. And if you just look at how much silage is worth, silage, there we go. And there's only really two places that will buy it, and it's not, doesn't really look like it's worth a lot there. That's only $475. And I think that's per litre. We'll show the price fluctuations, so you'll get the most for your silage if you sell it January, February. However, as I say, it doesn't look like much, but you get so much of it that you can turn quite a tidy profit if you've got a couple of grass fields. Number 6 on my list is greenhouses. And I done a video a few weeks ago about greenhouses, just to show how much money can actually be made. It was one of my first videos I done, I think. how to get the best start in Farming Simulator 22. It's such an easy way to make money. By far one of my favourite ways to make money in this game. If you go into construction and over to production, greenhouses, and you'll see there's various sizes. Now I'm not a big fan of using these smaller ones, purely because the price difference. This large one is only 10,000, and you just generate so much more income from the larger ones. They don't require much work. It requires an input of water, and you get an output of strawberries, lettuce, or tomatoes. And I think you can build, I'm going to say 10, but I'm not entirely sure how many we can build, so I'm just going to try. That's 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And this is why I normally delete this building here. It's not worth selling it, it's 0 value, but it just takes up some space. So that's 10 greenhouses. Oh, it's going to let me build more. So maybe there's no limit on greenhouses. Well, let's just leave it at 10 for the minute. So once you've built your greenhouses, the only thing they require is water. Now you will need, if you go into the tools and scroll down to animals, you'll need one of these water tankers. There's a few to choose from. I usually use this large tanker here with a truck, one of these trucks. However, for the purposes of this video, I've got quite a weak tractor. This one doesn't fit a tractor, so I went and got this tanker here, the MKS 8. Now you can just lease these tankers and then go and fill them up. If you look at the map, at any lakes, if you see, this is our farm here, the greenhouses, there's a lake right there, just along the road and turn right. Another lake here by the store, or way down the bottom here. I tend to fill them up at this lake here, just between fields 55 and 57, just because it's closer. And then all you do is get close enough to your greenhouse. There we go. Press I to fill up. Now this small tanker that I've got here only holds 8,000 litres of water, and each of these greenhouses hold 20,000 litres. So the more you build, the more work you've got filling them up with water. But an added bonus to that is that you only have to fill them, once you max them out, you only have to fill them up once every 12 months. It's kind of set and forget. So once we have our greenhouse fill, you can actually go inside them. Open the door. Okay, so once you've got them filled up, if you hit escape, and then scroll down to this kind of conveyor belt icon on the left here, that's your businesses. So let's find the greenhouse that I've actually got water in. There we go, it's this one here, 8,000 litres, give or take. So it's set to storing at the minute. This means that any fruits and vegetables created they're going to spawn in this black and yellow marked area here. So you need to make sure and leave space to get a forklift in, so you can collect them and go and sell them. However, what I like to do is I'll change them to selling. So you just press enter and that will change the output mode. Now they'll automatically sell, so you don't need to do anything. You get more money if you sell them manually, but I just prefer to leave it as selling. And then the last thing you have to do is actually to choose which fruit or vegetable you want to make. So again, I recommend checking my video on greenhouses, but in a nutshell, it requires 1 unit of water and you're going to get 1 unit of tomatoes. Lettuce requires 2 units of water for 1 unit of lettuce. Strawberries, 1 unit of water for 2 units of strawberries. Yeah. So I'll just switch it to tomatoes and press enter to activate. And there we go. Other than water, we don't really need to get involved with these greenhouses at all. Great method for making money. Number 7 on my list, and possibly another one of my all-time favourites, is trees. A lot of money can be made from trees, and again I've got another video that I made, I think it was maybe even last week or the week before, about trees. It mainly covers how to use this insanely difficult wood chipper, but you're going to need that, which you can get from the store, and tools, forestry equipment, and it's $190,000, so I would definitely recommend leasing this. You can lease it for $9,000. And you also need a chainsaw. These are all, they just look different, they're all the same. Take an orange one this time. And you basically cut the tree down and run it through the wood chipper. I'll pause the video for a moment and jump over to one of my other maps just to show you how much money can actually be made by cutting down trees. So this is another Elm Creek map that I've got, and you'll notice, with the exception of a few trees that I'm not allowed to cut down, I have cut down every single tree surrounding my farm. That Greta Thunberg chick is really gonna love me, yeah? So I currently, in this map, I currently own, let's see, these fields here. And I've been round every field and cut down all the trees. Those trees there are across the road, they belong to the other field, so I can't cut them down yet. Yeah, every tree that I'm able to cut down is being cut down and run through the wood chipper, and I currently have at the moment in storage probably a few 100,000 litres of wood chips. So I've got 29,000 litres in this trailer alone. Those 2 trailers you see with the tractors are also full of wood chips. And there should be 3 more trailers that I need to get a truck to haul these to sell them. So I'm going to go and sell this load, 29,000 litres of wood chips, and see how much money I'm going to get from this. The trees that surround the farms are actually decorative trees. So if you go into construction, landscaping and trees, So the trees that surround the farms will be one of these, probably the larger $200 trees or $1,000 trees. These smaller ones, oh yeah, there's probably going to be a few smaller ones as well, but these purely being decorative trees don't grow. If you want to plant trees to grow and cut them down, you have to go into your tools, probably in forestry equipment. There we are, forestry equipment, and along at the end, there we go, there's the tree planter there. And what you get is a box of tree saplings, and this will automatically plant them for you. And they grow over time. I think they can take up to, depending on the type of tree that you plant, can take up to 14 months to be ready to harvest. But you would go into, I think it's, let's try big pallets. Nope. There we go, there's your tree saplings there. It's only $1,000 for 20 trees. But when they grow, you can get a lot of money by cutting the trees down and getting the wood chips. And you can sell the wood chips up at the farmer's market if you're on Elm Creek. It's here on the map. So there's the farm there, and it's just along the road. Yep. Farmer's market. Alright, 29,500 litres of wood chips. Let's see how much we're going to get. $26,000. That's free money right there. It does take a bit of work running them through the wood chipper, but it pays off. At number 8, I've got bees on my list. Now, a lot of people might not agree with bees. But the reason I like bees, if you go in construction, animals, bees. Now, it's $19,000 to build the largest beehive. But it's a set and forget kind of thing. Now, I've also got a video on bees, which I made a few weeks ago, if you want to take a look at that. It explains how bees can help basically pollinate your fields depending on the crop type, and they'll increase the yield. So, and you can plant you can build a beehive anywhere on the map. So let's say I've got sunflowers in this field, I put a beehive here, and each beehive, if you notice, it's got a certain range. So the range for this beehive, if you look at the bottom right corner, is 150 metres. So these bees here will help, if I plant sunflowers in this field, will help pollinate the sunflowers, and you'll get a small increase to the yield. Now you can put a beehive absolutely anywhere on the map. If you want to put a beehive next to every single field, go ahead. Just do it over time, because they are quite expensive to build, and if you're just starting off, you don't have a lot of money, so you can't build a lot of beehives. But the more beehives you've got, the more honey you're going to make, and the more money you're going to make from selling that honey. Now with the beehives, you need one of these, the beehive pallet, honey pallet location. You can only have one per map. So if I build this one, let's say here, any beehive that I've got in this entire map, could be down here, could be away up here, the honey is going to spawn right here, which is perfect if you're on Elm Creek, because right across the road you've got a little kind of 7-Eleven or takeaway shop that loves to buy the honey. Bakers or something, I think it is, or whatever it is. They buy honey, they're just straight across the road. So when you get a chance, it's just a great idea to plop down a couple of large beehives, and then you can forget about them. Just go on with your daily jobs, go and, you know, harvest your fields and water your vegetables, and come back every few months and take the honey pallets and sell them up at the store. But check out my video on bees and you'll understand what I mean. Next we have chickens coming in at number 9. Now again, I did a video on chickens because a lot of people were saying that chickens could make you a lot of money, but I didn't believe them. I wanted to try it for myself. So again, check out my video on chickens, where I do an investigation of how much money can be made with chickens. So basically, if you want to do chickens, you go into animals, go to chickens, and you've got a choice of different chicken coops. You've got the small pasture, you've got the large pasture. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of money, so I can't build the large pasture. Let's do the smaller one. That should do about there. So we'll take this, go to this icon here and interact with it. We'll buy some chickens. Now, again, check out the video on chickens, but there's a certain age they can reproduce. If they're too young, they can't reproduce. Roosters are absolutely useless. They don't lay eggs and they have no effect on chickens, which is bizarre because you would think you would need a rooster to help the chickens reproduce, obviously. Birds and the bees and all that. However, all chickens will lay eggs regardless of the age. So this my farm at the minute, I can hold 30 chickens. So I'll just buy 30 chickens. Now, in order for them to operate optimally, they need food. And I would advise, if you're having chickens, to use maybe one of these fields to grow the food that they eat, which is sorghum. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there it is. So the chickens will eat wheat, barley and sorghum. Now you can also buy food at the store in the form of big pallets. So there it's there, chicken feed. It's wheat for $1,500. You might be able to buy big bags of it as well. Yeah, chicken feed, a big bag, $1,400. Just go with a big pallet. Now, chickens eat a lot. They eat, really do eat a lot. And they won't produce eggs without food. However, they will produce a lot of eggs. And if you sell your eggs at the right time, let's have a look at eggs. And we'll show the price fluctuations. Yeah, so you want to aim to try and sell your eggs in November. That's the top price there. And you will, my video basically shows how much money can be made with chickens. I tried it to begin with, buying food from the store, thinking that buying the food would be detrimental to my profits. It doesn't. If you don't have a field to harvest the food, chicken feed yourself, you can just go and buy it from the store, because come November you're going to make a lot of money. So I think from this size of chicken coop here. No, it wasn't. It was one of the large chicken coops I had in the video. Where is it? Those chickens. Yeah, I had one of these large chicken coops. And when I sold the eggs, I think it was a 6-month period, I made $40,000. Yeah, but check out the video and try it for yourself. The chickens really do make quite a bit of money. And then once your chickens get to a certain age, you can sell them and you'll get more money for them than you initially paid for them. Or you can just buy, like, so this holds 30. If I buy 15 chickens in 6 months, puberty 6 months, age, chicken. Yeah, so every 6 months, they'll reproduce. So you start off with 15 chickens. 6 months later, you'll have 30 chickens. Depends how you want to do it. But they're only $5 each. So you might as well just fill your chicken coop and then reap the rewards from the eggs. Brilliant method. And number 10 on the list has to be sheep. Sheep are so easy to look after. Again, in construction, animals, sheep, you have various options from the small to the extremely large. I've sold a few items to allow me to build one of these. I'm just going to put it over here. Now, the difference with the sheep and the chickens, if you see in the centre there, the small pen, it needs water. Chickens for some reason don't need water, but sheep need water. However, if you build the large sheep pen, sheep barn, excuse me, there is no requirement for water, because all buildings have got water plumbed in, and there's the water troughs right there. And all sheep need is either grass or hay. And as I mentioned previously, grass is so easy to grow. Seed it once, and every 3 months you can cut it, bale it up, and you just drop it off here. Now, sheep. These sheep here are all exactly the same, just different ages and different colours. So we buy some of these, what do you call, lambs, baby sheep. Doesn't matter what age, all sheep will produce wool, but they've got to be adults in order to reproduce. So as a lamb, puberty ends at 8 months. They'll then become an adult, and every 5 months afterwards they can reproduce. So this farm here can hold 65 sheep. Again, I've got a sheep video if you want to check it out. I recommend it. So let's just buy 32 sheep. And so they're lambs. They'll become adults in 8 months. 5 months later, they will reproduce. So in, what's that, 8, 12, 13 months, I'll have gone from 32 sheep to 64 sheep. And they're going to be making wool that entire time. And the wool spawns right here. Now, I figured out in one of my videos that I think it was 4 bales of grass, the small bales of grass, 125 centimetre bales of grass, will last 7 months. So it's not quite set and forget, but grass is so easy to come by, and yeah, it lasts quite a while. And that was for a barn of 65 sheep, but it lasted 7 months, 4 bales. Now, I figured out that this field, if I made this field grass, and that field over there grass as well, I would get approximately 19 bales of grass every 3 months, and they need 4 every 7 months. So yeah, it's a no-brainer. The sheep, your leftover grass you can turn into silage and sell the silage. I've got one more money making trick up my sleeve. Now the video did say it was only going to be 10, but well, as a thank you for sticking to the video this long, I've decided to throw in one extra method of making money. So when you harvest your, let's say your canola, which I've got in the back of this trailer here, or sunflowers, or let's see, olives, sunflowers and canola, and you take them up to the factory up here to sell, the oil factory. Just bear with me, this tractor is ridiculously slow. Now, I've already sold one of these trailer loads of canola to this factory, which would be 8,000 litres. Now during the time it's taken me to make this video, they've probably used some making canola, so I'm just going to drop in another 8,000 litres. So there should be around about 16,000 litres of canola in this oil factory, and I've just received the money from the sale of that canola, so I can now go and interact and buy the oil mill for $80,000. And if you press escape and go to your production chains and scroll down to the oil mill, and if we look at canola oil, we can see we still have the 15,000, well, almost 16,000 litres of canola. So we've basically sold our canola, and then we're going to make canola oil, which we can then sell. And I'll just change that to selling, so it's going to sell it automatically for me. Again, you make more money if you set it to storing and then go and sell it manually. But here we can pretty much set and forget if we leave it at selling. It's going to do it for us. Then we can concentrate on the rest of the farm. Well, that's about it for today, folks. Thank you very much for sticking to the end if you're still here. I would really appreciate it if you could like the video and subscribe to the channel. It's going to really help me out a lot. I'm always open to comments, whether they are positive, negative or constructive criticism. Every comment is going to help me get better at making these videos. But good night for now, guys, and I'll speak to you again soon.